Hey everyone, Aaron here. This is my 64th review on this channel, and today's review is of Dot Hack Roots. I'll tell you right now, by the way, I actually had reviewed this, and when I reviewed it, when I did my first, I think 3 takes of this, because it took me, I think 3 takes to do it, I had gotten through all 8 minutes of one of my takes, and I was so happy with it. And then I realized that I actually messed up the numbering, and I said, and what caused a slew of incidents, I can't explain to you guys the horror, where because I messed up the number for this review, I messed up all consequent reviews to follow. And so every single number review for after this was completely wrong. And it pissed me off so much, and I was so disheartened because I spent like an hour doing these reviews, and I was like, ah man, I have to redo them. And I'm redoing them because the sheer fact that I messed up just saying the number of the first part, I think it's not enough just to go, oh, let me fix it until you guys, oh, let me type it in, oh, I messed up. I think that ruins the one quality of my reviews. I aim to give you guys the best content I can give you guys. And while I don't have the best, film equipment or the best microphone, etc., I still want to give you guys good reviews, and I still aim to do that. So when I make a mistake like that, even if it's simple, I have to redo it. So I'm actually redoing, this is my 4th review I'm redoing, and I'm redoing it, I don't care. I'm doing it. So anyways, Dot Hack Roots, I think to kind of explain to you guys about something is that I love Dot Hack. But I am very critical of it, like I am with Sword Art Online. Think of them almost polar opposite anime in terms of content, but in my heart, similar in the one aspect that I like their source material better than what they actually represent. Meaning, Dot Hack, I grew up when I played it. I played the games, and I told you guys I saw Dot Hack sign and liked it a lot when I was younger. But that was probably in my first hundreds of watching anime, not my hundreds already have watched. I think that was maybe 90 or 99, something. So I'm not saying the exact number. I'm not trying to be realistic with that because I don't remember off the top of my head. But it's Dot Hack sign when I saw it was at a point where I wasn't so far into anime yet. It was I watched a lot of anime, but it was still relatively new to me. And I say that with trepidation because it's like, at the same time, I have watched a lot. Whatever, doesn't matter. But anyways, I more so love the Dot Hack video games. I mean, if you've seen my Blade Ninja 009 avatar, a lot of people ask me who's that from. It's Haseo from GU the games. He's in his final form in the game, which is something you don't see in the anime. You never actually see that. And I love the light novels for it. I love the manga for it, but I hate the anime. I really don't. I'm not a huge fan of the Dot Hack anime. Almost like Sword Art. Where Sword Art, I'm not a huge fan of the anime per se, but I love the video games, I love the manga, the light novel, etc., etc. That's weird, I know, but that's how I am, though. But Dot Hack Roots, I think, fits, I want to say, the midpoint of how I feel about it, where Dot Hack Roots is the closest to being a good anime in terms of what it's based off of. Sorry, by the way, I had hiccups. Anyways, though, so let's get on to the review. So Dot Hack Roots takes place before the actual video games, before GU. And our main character, Haseo, by the way, who, this is kind of a spoiler, but he's actually Sora from the previous Dot Hack alliteration. And, Dot Hack sign, Sora was a complete asshole who, he hurt people. And I said that word, yeah, but it's true. He wasn't very nice to people, he was very cruel to them. And he ended up becoming one of the lost victims, or one of the people that got put into a coma. And when he went into a coma, unlike a lot of the other people, he forgot his memories. He lost all of his memories. He lost who he was. So ironically, him going back into the game as a different character with a different personality is very funny. And as the series progresses, even the video games, they don't ever really talk about Haseo learning about his past memory. They do kind of, but they tap dance around it a lot. But you don't need to know that. The one thing about Dot Hack Roots that I'm going to say right off the bat that's good about it is that even if you've never played the Dot Hack games, it starts off more prologue or prequel to the Dot Hack GU games. But Haseo is new to the game. He's new to the MMO world of the world. Literally, that's what the world is called. Or actually, that's what the game in this series is called. It's called the World R2 because it's now the second iteration of it. But what happens right away is that he ends up joining a group called the Twilight Brigade, who's run by Ovan, who's the guild leader, and then he also meets a girl who's gonna fall in love with Sion, There's gonna be other characters too that they talk about and that are part of the group, but the main focus will be these 3 characters, I think, in this show. You know, you have Tabby, who's the cat girl over there, and I forgot that guy on the right with the weird hair. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. But those characters will kind of fall into the background. It's not really, I hate to say, they're not super important. They have significance, but they're not overly important. So as the show progresses, you kind of see Haseo grow up as a character in the show. You see him, you know, get better in terms of fighting. You see him learning the game. You see him learning how to play it better. But also at the same time, you know, if you've ever watched or read anything .hack related, you know that the world has its very hidden meanings. It has its kind of scare tactics and scare factors, because it did cause a huge crisis when it put people in a coma in the first iteration of it. And even more so, it's almost amazing that the World R2 would even come out when it caused so much damage that was, even though it was put under the rug, it still was damaged. It still was something that caused a lot of issues with, per se, hackers and such like that. That it's almost amazing that another game would come out in general. It's almost like if Sword Art Online had an actual game that was called Sword Art Online come out again, despite everyone being thrown into that game and being locked into it. I mean, there's Aincrad, there's Elfenhide, which comes out later, but people are, you know, not sure how to feel about that because it's not Sword Art, it's something else. And it's, in many ways it is. I mean, even though it's the same world, it's still this different game, if you know what I mean. Now, the whole point of the show, though, is that, you know, this is meant to be a kind of origin story for our character from the games. And that is one of the big red flags of the show, that if you have no interest in the game, if you have no meaning to play it further or read further into the material, the source material for this, .hack Roots is not going to do anything different for you. It's not going to make you love .hack. It's not going to make you change your outlook on it. It's going to make you go, why? Why did this come out? Because this was based off of the games after the games were made already. So it's essentially like having a character who you already saw his whole story play out, and then making a prologue to show the past. And that's been done in a lot of media, where they've made characters, you know, who have their whole stories done already, but then kind of go into their backstory. There's nothing wrong with that, but because Roots ends presuming that you're going to go further into the source material, it kind of puts a thing on it where when I review it, if I have to give it an A through F, I have to give it a B-, just because the sheer fact. Actually, you know what? C+, I'm going to say more so than anything else. I'd have to give it a C+, because the sheer fact that your results, your miles will vary with the show. You'll either love it or hate it, not because of how good it is, but more so because if you have no intention to watch the anime, or not the anime, if you have no intention to play the games or read the manga or read the light novels for this, you're gonna dislike the show. It's gonna be like, well, what was the point of it? And there's a lot of shows that do that. I'm not gonna get into that argument right now, but there's a lot of shows that do that where they want you to read the source material after the show's over. Like, for example, Umineko. When Umineko ends, it ended on such a cliffhanger because the studio, you know, had its issues, but they presumed that you would read the manga. And I'm like, you can't presume people are going to read the manga. There's a lot of people who love anime but hate manga. And there's a lot of people who love manga and hate anime. You can't presume that because you stop the series that you're going to then say, oh, watch this other iteration of it because reasons, you know, because you want more of the story out of it. That's almost unfair. But anyways, guys, that's it for this review. .hack Roots, again, is not a bad anime, but just, you know, if you don't have any interest in watching this or reading beyond the anime, I'd say almost avoid it, because as good as the anime is, it's not going to do anything for you to like .hack. Anyways, guys, though, I hope you liked this review. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know, come on, show me some love. I did have to redo this whole review now like 4 times. All right, I mean, that's not your fault, it's my fault. But anyways, though, guys, until our paths cross again in the next review, have a good one, everyone. Bye.